appreciate that introduction, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come and present today, because I do enjoy talking about your Nebraska state parks. And I want to emphasize that your. A lot of times people equate the state park, recreation areas, historical parks as being owned by the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. That we just manage them. We manage your park facilities for the citizens of Nebraska, and it's important to state that, because we take great pride in the effort that we invest there in producing the product that we do for you. So, got a brief presentation today, talk about the various assets that we have out there across the state. Again, our agency mission is the stewardship of the state's fish, wildlife, and park and outdoor recreation resources in the best long-term interest of the people and those resources. It's a mission that we take great pride in, and we fulfill that mission very, very effectively, we feel. I'm involved in the park side of it. I get a lot of the fun stuff. I get to see the rewards and the results of our efforts almost daily, to be honest with you, when I'm out there in the park environments and meeting folks and asking them how their experience has been. So I get a benefit from that tremendously. I have a wildlife degree. I wanted to do wildlife management from the day I started going out in the field with Dad and Grandpa, checking traps or hunting or fishing. It was just part of life for me growing up in Oakland, Nebraska. And stepping out my back doors, I had all those opportunities readily available to me and easily accessible. All the landowners in the area knew me, so I pretty much had a free run everywhere I went. I didn't worry about trespass back in those days, because everybody just said I was a Swenson kid out there hunting or trapping or fishing. So those were great days. But moved into the parks arena simply because I liked working with people on a daily basis. Tourism in Nebraska is a lifeline. We are proud to boast that in recent years, the Department of Tourism has indicated that of the top 25 tourist attractions in the state of Nebraska, 15 of those are state park or recreation areas. And when you think of the volume of people that we entertain annually, an estimated crowd of 9.5 million visitors, Lake McConaughey, Branch Oak, Fort Robinson, Mahoney State Park, Arbor Lodge, Southwest Reservoirs, and the diverse array of offerings that we have out there, it's easy to see that we impact a lot of folks. And those folks come and they spend a lot of dollars in Nebraska. And we're proud that our parks can play a part in that. And also the parks support the local economies tremendously. Those same folks go into town, spend dollars to buy their camping supplies, their fishing gear, have breakfast as a part of their annual hunting tradition. So there's a great impact, and our parks are central to all that. It's a large and very diverse park system, 77 total park areas and 2 state trails, 8 state parks, 59 recreation areas, 10 historical parks, and of course those 2 trails. The longest lineal trail in the United States, the Cowboy Trail, that we are responsible for managing. Of course, our oldest state park, Shadron. Our newest state park, Wanahoo. Senator Johnson's familiar with that. We will be adding another park area here in a partnership with the Papio Missouri River NRD. It'll be called Danish Alps. It'll be located up near Hubbard, Nebraska. That will open July 1 of 2015. 72,000 land acres, 67,000 water acres, and of course 322 miles of trails. 9.5 million visitors. That's an estimate. We've had as high as sometimes as 11 million in some years where we've had some major celebrations. Back in the year when we had the Lewis and Clark commemoration, we had a higher visitation in those years. Approximately 150 full-time staff, 825 part-time staff. So we employ a pretty substantial workforce, which also generates good opportunity for income in the communities. So we're supported 71% by user fees, 29% by general fund and other sources. And our primary funding sources of the user fees are our cabin income, our park permit sales, camping, and the various activities that we do offer in the park installations. Everybody get out to the parks. Do you frequent your parks? Who was at a park just in the last month? There we go. That's great to see. You know, we got a lot of work to do on that. It's amazing how many times I go and ask that question. Sometimes I'll ask who's ever been to a Nebraska State Park. Sometimes there's folks in the room that haven't had that opportunity, been residents of Nebraska for a long time. So we still have work to do in getting our message out there and promoting that. But what can you expect to experience at your Nebraska State Parks? Well, there's a lot of things, and it starts with comfortable lodging opportunities. You can go out in the park. You can go out and camp in a tent, like you see there at Louisville State Recreation Area, right on the banks of the Platte River. That's one of the prime spots we have for camping and RVing in eastern Nebraska. Or you can do something unique. You can stay in a caboose at Two Rivers State Recreation Area. You know, what little kid wouldn't like the opportunity to venture back in time, stay in a caboose? You know, they don't see, the younger kids don't experience that or see that anymore because the cabooses are a thing of the past. But we try to revive that memory, and especially with folks, parents that can relate to that, and it is a neat opportunity for them. RV sales across the nation are just skyrocketing, as much as 5 to 8% market increase in sales of RVs. And you can see right there, that's a pretty fancy one there. The days of the old pop-up trailers are kind of going away. These things are getting fancy. It's creating some issues for us logistically, because we have to have longer campsites, wider campsites, because you can see they have a lot of slide out opportunities now, and they take up quite a bit of space and a lot of electrical demand. And then our cabin offerings. It's everything from quaint. You can experience a rustic cabin at Ponca State Park, Victoria Springs, many other locations where you can stay in very comfortable lodging opportunities, such as those that you see in the pictures on the left. That's Ponca State Park, and they are offered year-round. Very comfortable, great opportunity. Ponca State Park's special if you like to watch wildlife. You get up there at any time of the year on the banks of the Missouri River and those oak-lined bluffs, and it's a very unique experience. People love lodging. Lodging is a tremendous income source for us. And of course, we offer a lot of fun activities, very diverse activities. Another important funding source. Generates a lot of revenue. We consign some of these activities out, so we provide opportunities for the private sector to enter into our parks and gain some revenue. But everything from ice skating during the wintertime to the family aquatic complexes that we offer at 6 of our state park areas. Swimming pools are very popular in the summer season, and they're well attended. The pool at Mahoney State Park, for instance, that you see in that picture, will have over 100,000 visitors in the course of a year. When I was working at Mahoney State Park, the toughest job there was standing at the front desk on a 100-degree July day and rolling the window up to start taking tickets, and the line would stretch literally for a block and a half. That was before we had the expanded pool, so our capacity was only 335. When number 336 would get to the gate, it would get pretty interesting. So, but everything from horseback riding to trail riding. I got a picture of a morel mushroom up there. The mushroom hunting has just increased dramatically in our state parks in the springtime. Indian Cave is where that picture comes from, and I know exactly where that location is because I harvested that one shortly after I took that picture. But it's a fun activity. People venture out there for all kinds of things in our Nebraska state parks. Upper left-hand corner, you see a landscape shot of the Platte Valley. That's Platte River State Park. That's a recent project that we did. It's called our Outdoor Heritage Education Complex. And what you see there is a facility where folks can come into the park and they can actually do archery, rimfire, .22 cartridge shooting, pellet gun, tomahawk throw, and various activities. It's our effort in our parks to bring people back into the outdoors and introduce them to some of the pursuits and services that we offer as an agency. We recognize as an agency that permit sales are declining in the hunting and fishing components of our agency, because people don't go outdoors as much, or they don't expect to go out as much as we did as kids. Too many distractions out there. So our parks, because we feel they serve as gateways to the outdoors, when you got 9.5 million visitors coming into your park environments, that's a lot of opportunity to introduce folks back into the outdoors. So we're developing some of these complexes where we can offer some of the shooting sports to try and get people interested again in getting outdoors, buying a hunting license, buying a fishing license, and just coming back out and finding the rewards that do exist outside of their homes. Five River State Park will undergo some further development. We want to develop the aquatic aspects at the Jenny Newman Lake that we have there, so we can get people on the water, kayaking, canoeing, create some good fishing opportunities. Eventually introduce them out there into the Platte River, where they can canoe now from either Schramm Park or Platte River down to Louisville State Recreation Area. About an hour on the water for them if they want to just float gently, but just a great experience for them all in all. What else is out there? Fantastic scenery, some beautiful shots. I was impressed when I walked into the room today and I see the picture of the buttes here, and you see the same picture down there in the lower right-hand corner. That's important to me because it tells me that people really respect and enjoy the scenic wonders of the state of Nebraska. And this is some of the offerings that you get out there. You know, you got the beautiful view from the deck up there at Ponca State Park, overlooking the eastern gateway of the recreational river. You know, a river that Lewis and Clark might have experienced back 200 years ago when they came through that same area. That was a beautiful scene that morning with the fog settling over the valley. That picture was in fact taken during the commemoration, so it was a beautiful presentation that morning for those that were up there to experience that. Indian Cave State Park, beautiful fall colors. Very shortly here, you're gonna, if you got time, you're gonna want to find a way to get down to either Nebraska City or Indian Cave and experience that, because the colors are starting to set in now, and there's some great activities taking place down in those parks that you will really enjoy. Smith Falls, beautiful wildflowers, just a lot of scenery to offer. Water-based recreation. We felt this was appropriate to put this slide in here. We're talking about water resources. Oftentimes that people think about consumable water and you know how we use it to sustain our lives. I like to talk about water for the value it has recreationally and aesthetically, and just the impacts that it can have on the quality of life. Those are pictures of people having a great time on the water. Water is very important to our Nebraska state parks. 67,000 acres exist within our park areas. Offers all kinds of activities you can see right there. People want to get to the water, enjoy it whenever they can. When we sponsor expos in some of our state parks, the kayaking and canoeing activities are just tremendous. People just stand in line for long periods of time just to get that experience on the water. But most importantly, family time in our state parks. We can talk about the economy of our state parks. We can talk about the recreational value. Excuse me. But it's that family time, building the lifelong memories together that have a lasting and lingering impact. And that's important because that's quality of life in Nebraska. That certainly builds a great foundation that has tremendous rewards and outcomes. What is the economic impact of your Nebraska state parks on the state's economy? Overall, the impact is $749 million by the time those dollars turn around and turn over out there as they're spent and respent. Of that, retail sales, about $448 million just in retail sales at our park areas. And we support, both directly and indirectly, about 8,200 jobs just in our park system. That's a tremendous impact. That has a huge impact on local economies. I work a lot with the people in the community of Ponca, Nebraska, Tekamah, Nebraska, Wahoo with the development of Wanahoo. People find their ways into town to go to the Dairy Queen, go to the bait shop, go to the hardware store, and all those things, and it has a tremendous impact. Tekamah, the local citizens there, excuse me, local citizens there have really rallied to do developments at the Summit Lake State Recreation Area. Fundraise almost $200,000 for developments out there to create a campground, a shower building, and some other features that will bring new people into the community. So they're very vested with it. They see the value of that state recreation area. Ponca is probably the prime example. We just conducted an expo up there third weekend in September. Had probably 40 to 45,000 people visit that expo. over the course of a three-day event. Almost 900 volunteers come from the community, regional communities, to assist in that, because they see a tremendous value and they know what the impact of that event has for the community and in that region, northeast Nebraska. But I want to go back to water-based recreation again, because it's much broader than just what happens in our parks. When you look at all the water resources that we have across the state of Nebraska, there's a lot of other things that are done out there on the water, in the water, with the water. Does water-based recreation provide added opportunity and value? Certainly, if you consider wildlife watching opportunities that exist out there. Picture the sandhill cranes. How appropriate is that? Because when you get out in the Central Platte Valley, tremendous amount of visitation, recreation occurring out there. People pine to see those sandhill cranes come into that flyaway, and thousands of people flock out there. I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to go out there and experience that yourselves. So it's certainly something you want to do. Yeah, please. I've got a frog in my throat here. Appreciate that. But not only there, we're also doing similar things in a lot of our park areas. Ponca State Park has what we call Marsh Madness every March, when the waterfowl and the shorebirds start coming back north. We host an event up there where we put people in lines out in the marsh areas of the Missouri River floodplain. And we have trained bird watchers in there and environmentalists that can tell what people are viewing out there. And it has grown tremendously just in participation and popularity. You see some unique things out there. We also do a Christmas bird count at Ponca State Park. I attended that last year, and we had over 40 people show up on a cold December day just to go out and count the birds in the area on that occasion. So wildlife watching, especially in conjunction with our water resources, is a tremendous activity occurring out there. Waterfowl hunting. Getting into that prime season right now. I don't know how many times last weekend I was asked, are you going duck hunting this weekend? People are primed. We've got conditions across the state right now that are prime. We've got a lot of wetlands. There's a lot of waterfowl going to move into the area. I traveled north to Minnesota last week. There's a lot of ducks and geese that are going to be coming down into Nebraska. So people are getting excited, and those duck hunters are very vested with their opportunity. They'll spend a lot of dollars pursuing that activity. Tremendous value. It's all tied to water. That's where we find them. Fur harvesting. It's kind of an activity that you don't see a lot anymore in Nebraska, but it has an economic impact. We sell a lot of trapping licenses. A lot of guys go into the creeks and the watersheds to harvest the beaver and the muskrat and the mink. So it has an impact. And what about those non-traditional activities you find on the water? More and more you're seeing this. This is getting a national reputation as an activity in Nebraska. We just hosted the National State Park Directors Conference in Omaha right after Labor Day. And one of the activities they wanted to do was tanking on the Elkhorn River. Huge demand for it. Unfortunately, the day we were supposed to go, we had about 5 inches of rain and the river was a little wild. We said it'd be one heck of a tank ride for you if you want to go. But we decided it'd be wise to cancel that event. But tanking, tubing, some shots there from up north on the Niobrara River around Smith Falls area. Canoeing, kayaking. My wife and I went out and bought kayaks this year because she attended the Ponca Expo, spent about 10 minutes in a kayak, and decided she had to have one. So I had to get one too, of course, if she was going to get one. But just a lot of activity like that on the water, very popular. Good family time activities. And of course, we can't lose sight of why that water is important in our park areas. and why it's important outside of our park areas, the fishing opportunities. And take a look, what's important to me about that picture is not only the success they're having, but the smiles on those faces. A lot of kids, family activities, the rewards that those individuals have had because they've been out and experienced our resources here in Nebraska, our water resources in Nebraska. Highly valuable. The fishing world is a tremendous place, has a great economic impact, but it's just a great family activity, and kids can enjoy it. Our fisheries division works very hard to stock and keep the condition of our reservoirs and our ponds and our lakes in prime condition, and they do, I think, do a phenomenal job. So I just come back from Minnesota pike fishing, family tradition we have up there, but that picture's from the Sandhills Lakes. I think I should have just rode a little ways west, and I would have had much better success with northern pike than I had up north. So, what's the economic impact of fishing to our Nebraska economy? Well, it stacks right up there too. Another $324 million, of that $210 million in retail sales, and another 3,000 jobs supported directly or indirectly just with the fishing industry. So if you look at the parks and the fishing component, that's a huge impact. You start throwing the hunting aspects and things like that are other services that our agency does, and you look at about a $2.4 million impact in the state of Nebraska. Nationally, if you add all that up, it's well into the trillions of dollars of impact that we have with recreation. What's our agency doing to invest back into the resource? Well, we focus a lot on the water resources that do exist out there. We've done surveys, we've received public feedback. Our statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan confirms for us that recreating on public waters and access to those waters is a very important priority with our constituency. Because of that, we're working diligently to enhance, improve access, our boat ramps, our boat docks, quiet water opportunities. Anytime we can do a backwater in conjunction with the Corps of Engineers, it creates an off-the-river type experience with a different fishing opportunity. We pursue those. We're looking to improve beaches wherever we can. People like to get out and lay along the water, wade in the water. The wildlife viewing and watching facilities and programs, as I mentioned earlier, we're working to expand that everywhere we can. And river trails. That's something we're hearing more and more. People want to be able to get out onto the rivers, canoe, kayak, but they need a place every now and then to pull off, have a picnic lunch, just enjoy the scenery, relax. So there's a lot of effort to try and establish those trails and develop some support amenities out there in conjunction with them. One of the big projects that we're prepared to undertake as an agency is looking at the driving forces that get people outdoors. We have a great opportunity in Nebraska around exit 426 off of Interstate 80. We call it the Platte River Valley Playground, because from that exit you can reach Mahoney State Park, Platte River State Park, Louisville State Recreation Area, Schramm State Recreation Area with the Exarban Aquarium. You can go up to Two Rivers, you can go to Memphis, you can drive to many other attractions just from getting off the interstate at that location. What's unique about it is it's located smack dab in that Lower Platte Valley. Beautiful scenery, beautiful bluffs, oak-lined bluffs, great opportunities, some vital communities nearby. So it's a recreation destination. Looking at the constituency and what they demand, we're looking to change some of the activities that we offer in these park areas. Not only provide educational opportunities and resource interpretation, naturalist programs, but also add some high adventure type activities. Maybe some zip lines tastefully located within one of these parks, some ropes courses, suddenly something that appeals to the younger generation and the more fast-paced, high-adventure type activities that they enjoy. So we're undertaking some development plans to look at those locations and see how we can provide multiple opportunities. We don't want to lose the traditions that exist in our parks, the picnicking opportunities, the hiking, you know, just the relaxing opportunities. But we need to have a mix, a combination, so that when a family comes and the age range of the kids is anywhere from 6 years to 18 years, there's a little bit of something for all of them to enjoy when they're out there in the parks. We've already got the lodging to accommodate a lot of that. We don't have as much camping as we need, so we're looking to do some campground developments at Platte River State Park. We feel that would tremendously benefit Platte River plus the community of Louisville. Schramm, great educational opportunity. We want to do some work there to enhance the trails. Memphis State Recreation Area, we've talked about adding some campgrounds there to help complement a high demand that does exist in the Platte River Valley for the various activities. Also, what's nice here is you've got the Outlet Mall close by, you've got the Strategic Air and Space Museum, you've got the various attractions in the communities. So when people come here and stay in the parks, they're also venturing out into those towns and doing other things than just recreating in the park. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we've benefited tremendously here in the last year and a half. We've had great support from the legislature to help address some of our backlog of maintenance needs that exist out there, a huge backlog. I'm proud to say that in Nebraska we've been very proactive over the years in trying to address some of that. So we've held pace, but not as aggressively as we need to. So the legislature was very generous in assisting us this year with that. And we're going to make great strides in picking up on some of that backlog. And the new additions, everything that we look to do, you might ask why build new when you're trying to keep up with the old? Well, the effort we're going to invest there is we're going to try and fundraise to gain those dollars and write grants and find opportunities to finance some of the new development that we do offer out there in our park system. And be a little more responsible with fiscally and managing how those dollars come together. Bring better economics to it and make proper investments there. We're very confident that investments in this region will have a great rate of return based on the visitation and the demand that does exist in the Platte Valley. That's a real quick introduction to our parks, and I want to open it up for questions. I want to thank you for supporting, again, your Nebraska State Parks. Encourage you to plan your next visit soon, get your family out there. Truly enjoy the resources that you do have in the state of Nebraska. Encourage family and friends to join you out there. The rewards are outdoors. Our website is listed at the bottom there, outdoornebraska.org. Please go there. It's a very good website. You can find all the information you need there. And I just look forward to seeing you on the next vacation out there, maybe at a campfire or something. I might join you and make a s'more, do something, have a cup of coffee with you. So anyway, I'd like to open it up for questions, please.
Before we